Actually, I'm not going to do a long one. I think we're just going to do China's virtual trains.
Okay.
This is, I don't know, it's more of a cool image and kind of a clever way of doing things. So, like, have you been to Mexico City?
No.
The underground there's weird. It's like, it's sort of halfway between a rail and a bus. Like, I mean, only in the way, like the underground trains, they have tires. So they run around like on these platforms,
Really?
but they have tires that they run on instead of like whatever the things that trains have are.
Why is that on rails?
I don't know. There's not really
Is it like hybrid?
Well, it looks like a metro. It looks like a regular underground, except that instead of having track, it has wheels, like a car.
Interesting.
And there's loads of them, and they run around and stuff. It's weird.
Oh,
Anyway,
queer.
what I liked was China. They were like working out, you know, about, okay, with like automated stuff, with like automated trams and cars and all of this. I thought this was a really clever solution. Instead of like doing the super complicated computer technology and like we've got to work out, you know, programming the road, it can read the corners and it can do, you know, read all the traffic and stuff. Just on that image, just instead make a dumb tram that just has wheels like a car. And then instead of like teaching it how to like navigate a road, just paint some white stripes on the ground and tell it to follow the white stripes. So the white stripes are essentially the tracks. And I thought this was super clever.
It's not stupid at all, is it?
No, it's like just a really clever simplification rather than like, let's do all this complicated technology stuff. Let's just, I mean, I'm sure it's relatively complicated, but you know, it's a nice simplification. And these things, they can carry 300 to 500 people around. They run on batteries, which is pretty cool.
Do we know if I know China had that big massive bus train thing that they were working on that went over the traffic?
Yeah, did that ever get anywhere?
Take off?
I made a video about that and I was kind of like,
it was amazing. Like it should have worked if it didn't, but I don't know if I've never heard anything about it since. Like it kind of had its heyday like 5 years ago. Where everyone was like, "This is going to happen. It's the next thing," and then it didn't.
It was just kind of like a bus on stilts, right? That kind of just went over the traffic. But dude, I mean, there's so many problems if you just think about like your journey to work or whatever. There's so many bridges and all of this stuff, and you just need to change so much.
I've always had this plan, and I'm glad that I now have a platform to like kind of roll it out. Ziplines. I think ziplines are underutilized. How are we going to
try and move around?
All right, so
it's so dangerous.
Think about it. All right, so did you ever go and do like one of those Go Ape like
the big zip line through the forest and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty
things
epic.
where you've got like a carabiner and you have to kind of climb your way through the trees.
Oh yeah. I've done this as well as the long zip line journeys.
Okay, so mixture of these things. So basically, my theory is that there's localized areas that have like hubs. So they're basically like zipline hubs. And then so you live out in the countryside. You go to your local little town, which is 5 minutes away, and you go up if you're in America, it's many miles away, maybe an hour and a half away, just a small bit like drop around the corner. And then you go up like a lift, an elevator, and you get to the top of your massive mile-high zipline. You then carabiner on, and you zipline straight into the city's central zipline station.
Okay.
And then there's another one coming back the other way, and like
how do they?
There has to be a central tower, and basically they can rotate round basically. So you kind of hook yourself on, and you've got a little eyelet, and it's not like your zipline free falling. You're hooked on. And it goes at maybe...
Well, it wouldn't be a good end if you were free-falling.
Well, not free-falling, but you know what I mean? You're not like free zip-lining. You're not free-lining. You're just... you're hooked on, and you're going to get pulled around like that, you know? And you'll go from one... Like A to B. It's just straight A to B. There's no mucking around on trains or anything like that. You just go, bang, straight in.
Yeah, but then you can only go from one station to another. You can go... So you have to go to your big starting point, and then that will go to another destination.
Another big starting point to somewhere else. So, say for instance, let's take London. All right, so London. So I'm from Watford. So you'll take Watford. Will have its own big station.
It's a pretty crazy idea. Yeah, I understand.
And then it goes into say Euston Station, which is where the train goes to. Train takes 20 minutes. If you're like zooming down a zip line, it's going to take 10. So you just go straight down into Euston, and then from Euston there's another big tower which leads off to Bank, leads off to Victoria.
Yeah, I understand. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, crazy idea, but I'm glad I've got a platform. If we have any if you want to see this, you can write to us on Twitter.
See this realized
at This Is Sam Myers. Let's start a petition.
Dude, I think the Chinese should do it. Because they would
do it.
Yeah, they invest tons of money in their trains and all of this stuff, and they like crazy ideas. Or the Middle East, you know, like Saudi Arabia. I feel like they'd try this. They got loads of money.
Yeah,
Just take a punt.
If
They'll build a whole new city that would use this transportation system.